Hey everyone, we're in the conference finals, so that means my third round bracket challenge, third chance bracket challenge. You know what? We actually did pretty good in the second round. I went 3 for 4. I picked the Dallas Stars to beat the Winnipeg Jets. I forget if I think I had that in 6 games, so I think I got that one right. But I think I picked Edmonton in 6, and they won in 5. I picked Toronto in 7. Florida, of course, won in 7, so I got that one wrong. But then I think I picked Carolina in 6 or 7. They won in 5 as well. So these series ended sooner than I thought. Like, I thought Vegas and Washington would put up more of a fight. They did not. Kudos to Edmonton and Carolina. So I had an Edmonton-Carolina Stanley Cup final coming out of my second chance bracket. I still think Carolina can do it. My reservations are just the matchup game against Florida. I had Carolina actually beating Toronto because of that matchup game and because I thought, okay, Toronto maybe can squeak it out at Florida, but as much as Florida's probably the toughest opponent for Toronto, I just thought Frederik Andersen kind of presents that revenge tour thing against Toronto. Of course, now we're talking about Florida because they're there. I just think that Bobrovsky can maybe match up against the way Frederik Andersen's playing, and then I look at the rest of the roster, right? I look at the defense groups. Well, Florida's looks great on the back end right now. Seth Jones is now contributing on the offensive side of things. Ekblad's been really physical and strong on both sides of the ice, also contributing on the offensive side of things recently, and now looking at Forsling. So it's better than we've expected. The forward group is where it really gets tough for Carolina. The top heaviness of the likes of Barkov, Tkachuk, Reinhart, those guys didn't even contribute that much offense in the Toronto series, and they still won that series. So you look at the offense where it came from on the Florida side. It came from Luostarinen, Lundell, Marchand. That's a worry, and obviously some depth pieces as well. So I think it's a big concern for Carolina if Florida has that depth going the way they have been, especially that third line. Carolina's got great depth as well, but they don't have the top heaviness of what Florida has. I love Jarvis. I love Svechnikov. I love Aho. But if you're lining up Aho, Svechnikov, and Jarvis next to Barkov, Tkachuk, Reinhart, I tend to go towards the Florida side. And then Florida has some top heaviness beyond that, right? Like Marchand would be immediately in Carolina's top 6, maybe even top line, right? He's on the third line with Luostarinen and Lundell. It's probably the best third line in hockey, and it's showing in the playoffs. I've always said a third line can win you a Stanley Cup, i.e. Washington, i.e. Pittsburgh, i.e. Vegas. Those teams had great third lines. So for that reason, I am going Florida. I think it might be too much of a matchup nightmare for Carolina. I think a lot points towards Dallas here for so many reasons. I want to say Jake Ottinger is the second best goalie in the playoffs. I want to say that Miro Heiskanen is going to go on a crazy run here in the last 2 rounds. I want to say that Dallas overall has the best depth in the Western Conference. I think a lot of those things I just said are true. But you know what Dallas doesn't have? And I know I keep going back to this. It's maybe that lazy take people don't want to hear about, but it's the reality of the situation. Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. I will say on Devil's Advocate, Mikko Rantanen is leading playoff scoring. He's got 19 points. I think McDavid has like 17, Draisaitl has 16, so they're right in around there. But I just think sometimes McDavid and Draisaitl leave it till the end. And I'm going to say this. I think the opportunity to match up against Florida again in the Cup final is going to be like too much to pass up on, and just so much hunger behind getting back there and getting their revenge. So I'm going to do rematch. You know what's crazy, guys? If you go back to my preseason predictions, I believe I had the rematch. Then I went back on it because Edmonton's goaltending was just so questionable, and I thought Florida facing Tampa and Toronto back-to-back would be enough to have one of those teams knock them out. It didn't happen. The cup hangover just didn't happen for Florida. And I think they're going to get right back into there, but I said this at the start of the season. I'm going to say it again. If teams like Colorado and Tampa can get out early on, Edmonton beating Vegas, Edmonton had Dallas's number last year. I see some of those things aligning, and I just think that if Edmonton can get competent goaltending and Jake Ottinger not completely steal the show, I think this is going to be a tough series. I think Edmonton's going to win that series in 6. If it goes to 7, I think Dallas might take it. Home ice for Dallas has been so good. So we will see. But I think Edmonton's got to take that series in 6, I believe. The Florida-Carolina one, I actually don't know. I think Florida could do business quickly, but at the same time, Carolina, like I said, they're so structured. I just don't know if they have the firepower up top to match up against everything that Florida has to offer. So the way Carolina can win that series is if they can get Bobrovsky off his game and Frederik Andersen stays healthy. Frederik Andersen, for me, is the X factor in that series. For Edmonton, it's actually the opposite. It's if their goaltending is not as shit as we know they can be. So Edmonton, Florida final, and I'm going back to my pick, Edmonton. Sorry, people are not seeing me change it up, but I'm going back to it. I'm sticking with it. I put some dollars on it. Edmonton, it's their year. Connor McDavid, it's his year. The Edmonton Oilers are the 2025 Stanley Cup champs as I see it. If I'm wrong and the Dallas Stars win, well, then I'll go down to Dallas and I'll be happy either way because then I'll go to a Stars game in the conference final and maybe even the Cup final. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Comment your predictions down below. Hit that subscribe, like, comment, notification bell, all that good stuff. Really excited to see your guys' predictions, and we'll be following the playoffs as they go. I probably won't be live tonight. Give myself a catch-up here to get all these content, the videos, all that stuff out. But if it's a close game and going to overtime, I might go live later. If not, I'll be live for some more action throughout the rest of the playoffs. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good one. Peace.